It's Monday, the 16th of September 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1's a big one. Australia is likely to miss renewable energy targets by 2030, but is making ground in transitioning the energy grid. This is according to leading experts. Just as renewable energy as a share of total electricity production hit a new record.
Yes, the news on the transition to renewables isn't great, but it isn't a disaster either. Transgrid Chief Executive Brett Redmond forecasts that renewable energy will generate 82% of Australia's power by 2031-32. Now, that's a year or two later than the government's target. He said recent delays to major projects probably meant the country would miss its 2030 target. According to a report in the Australian UGL, Managing Director Doug Moss said the targets would be extremely challenging. Mind you, it's good news for a company like UGL, a building contractor for major energy projects such as the Snowy Hydro Curry gas facility. Broadly, they're saying the 82% won't be hit by 2030, but it should be hit soon afterwards.
Okay, so that 82% is a key number. How close are we to hitting it?
Well, some weeks were much closer than others. The share of electricity generated by renewables reached an all-time high of 72.2% in the half hour leading up to midday last Monday, marginally better than the previous high set in October last year. If we could sustain that level, we'd be on a promising pathway, though, according to a report in the Fin Review, some experts warn it may struggle to rise much further over the next few years until more coal power stations close. That's because coal generators, whose supply is still vital to keep the lights on, have to maintain minimum levels of operation around the clock. The next major coal station to close is Origin Energy's 2,880 megawatt Eraring generator, the country's biggest. Its shutdown was delayed by a couple of years. It's due to close in August 2027. Now, solar panels continue to provide a large share of supply. Rooftop solar is about 39%. That's at its peak last week, according to the Australian Energy Market Operator. So things getting better, much better than the June quarter. A bit tough, shorter days, not as much wind and solar generation in those shorter days. Anyway, we're getting there, Michael.
Indeed we are. All right, on to story number 2 now. And the Federal Coalition is now pushing to not change the Reserve Bank Board, saying it no longer needs to be considered.
Well, a bit confusing, really. Giving an independent inquiry set up by the coalition government recommended the central bank board be split into an interest rate setting board and a governance body. The Liberal Party supported the split, though it couldn't agree with Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers about who would sit on the interest rate setting committee. Yesterday, opposition finance spokesperson Jane Hume said the people currently on the Reserve Bank board should continue to do monetary policy, which sounds like the opposition doesn't want any change. Any splitting of the board requires legislative change, and agreement between the government and Greens, at the moment at least, seems some way off.
Story number 3, what do you make of this one? About 2/3 of Australian baby boomers leaving the workforce don't actually have enough superannuation to retire comfortably. This is according to research from the industry's peak body.
Slightly more than 30% of Australians are able to afford a comfortable lifestyle in retirement, according to the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia. Currently, the median pension account balance for men aged 60 to 64 is $205,000, $154,000 for women. The industry standard for what's considered a comfortable retirement, $690,000 for couples, $595,000 for singles, according to a report on Bloomberg. Australia's retirement savings pool is now close to $4 trillion. About 2.5 million Aussies are expected to retire over the next decade. ASFA said that as the pension system matures and balances increase, the portion of people retiring with enough money to fund a comfortable lifestyle will hit about 50% or more by 2050.
Story number 4, the first independent analysis of more than 60 airline loyalty programs has ranked Qantas frequent flyer 24th and has been critical of the large number of points needed for redemptions, also critical of poor customer service and high change fees.
Travel tech company Point Me undertook the analysis over several months, allocating marks to each program across several criteria, including the ease of earning miles or points, redemption rates, ease of booking, and customer service quality, according to a report in The Australian. The reward program of Air France and KLM, known as Flying Blue, was rated the best scheme, followed by Air Canada Aeroplan, United Mileage Plus, British Airways Executive Club, and Virgin Atlantic Flying Club. Emirates Skywards came in at 11th. Singapore Airlines scheme was 17th. Qantas 24th, Virgin Australia at 33rd, which was the same as Air New Zealand's Air Points.
Last one, story number 5. Bunnings, Aldi and Kmart are Australia's 3 most trusted brands, while Toyota, Bendigo Bank and Nike are on the up.
That's the findings from the Roy Morgan survey released on Friday, and the top 3 are unchanged over the June quarter. Next in order are Toyota, Apple, Aussie Post, Myer, Big W, NRMA and Samsung. The most distrusted brands, in order of bad to less bad: Optus, Qantas, Facebook, Coles, Woolies, Telstra, News Corp, X, TikTok and Temu. Roy Morgan CEO Michelle Levine said Bunnings is the only survivor from the top 3 rankings of a year ago. Woolies and Coles are the ones who have well and truly fallen from grace. The fact that there's still high trust ratings for Aldi and independent grocer IGA shows that the distrust for the 2 majors is not an industry-wide thing.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Monday, the 16th of September, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. And that comes with a bunch of interviews as well. Today's interview is a great one for investors. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.